SGGT. Today, Aaron and myself, we're going to do Shafts Explained, iron shafts. Let's get a look at it and see what works, why they work, and who they might suit. We're in the iron fitting bay today with the shutter open. The sun's finally out, so let's get a blether and see what we think, Aaron. So the most misunderstood bit of shafts is, what are they, who should be playing them, what weight, what flex, what's right for who.
Most misunderstood thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you speak to most guys and they'll tell you they play a regular or a stiff.
Yeah.
And that's about the size of it.
And in days gone by, kind of 15, 20 years ago, you were playing an R300 or an S300.
Aye,
Dynamic gold.
We've got hundreds of options here. I go back years ago, fitting out a Mizuno fitting cart, because Mizuno was the best fitting option at the time. And there was a KBS, a Project X, a True Temper, and or there maybe a Nippon option as well, but that felt like it was millions in relation to everything else. Start with brands. True Temper.
True Tempers. I mean, it's kind of your staple, isn't it?
Most played on tour.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at iron heads, I think this is why this ranges became good, that as iron heads have become stronger, shafts have become softer. So True Temper, Dynamic Gold, been around forever.
Yep.
Still the most popular on tour, as we say. R300, S300, S400, X100. So there's options there, but they've now brought out DG Mid.
DG Mid's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weights, different options.
Yeah. So you've got 100, and that comes regular R300, S300, regular stiff. You've got your 115. You've got R, S, and X in there, so it's a lighter X-Flex option. And then you've got the 130, so your tour issue, S400, X100.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of slightly higher launching than your traditional dynamic gold shafts. But they've been really popular, again, as you say, as lofts progressively get stronger and stronger. It's a little bit of compensation in the shaft, isn't it, just to try and get that flight up a bit.
Yeah. Now, dynamic gold, there's some tour issue stuff. What is the difference?
It's the kind of tolerance, basically. So it's you know exactly what you're getting with the tour issue stuff.
Yeah, I think it's give or take 2, isn't it? So an X100 at 130 grams, a tour issue is 130, as opposed to a standard could be anything 1290, 131.
Yeah.
You're just dealing with tighter tolerances.
It's just tighter tolerances, isn't it? Yeah.
So within that True Temper bracket, Project X is in there as well. So again, traditional Project X been out around for ages.
Yeah, classic rifle.
Yeah. Stable.
Really stable.
Yeah, really good.
Really stable. It's kind of, if shaft flex is only relevant when you're talking about the same make and model of a product.
Yeah.
So a rifle 6.0 stiff is a little bit lighter than an S300.
Yeah.
Slightly different operating.
You used to see things like this regularly, and it's what's stiffer? Is it a S300 or is it a Project X 6.0? And the reality is, it depends how you load it.
Yes.
What's stiffer for one guy won't be the same flex for another.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. Project IO,
higher launching.
a little bit lighter in weight.
A little bit lighter in weight, yeah. It's that replaced PXI,
Yeah.
that was pretty.
I like PXI.
So did I.
And a few sets of that.
But IO's good just for someone who wants to play something like a Project X, but needs to go that way.
And 10 grams lighter than your traditional offerings.
Yeah.
And then there's LS.
And then there's LS. Bit more stable, just to try and bring the flight down. If you've got someone who loads it quite aggressively, it's a really good option.
Yeah, good. And then within the True Temper bracket, Accra's there as well.
Yep.
So the Accra do some steel shafts that we're going to put in a demo, I think, but in the short term, I've got graphite, 2 offerings.
Yep.
I series,
I series, a little bit of a softer,
lighter weight, help the ball up in the sky.
Help the ball up in the sky.
Yeah, definitely.
But still a nice feeling shaft. Quite stable under the handle, soft at the tip section. And then you've got TZ.
So TZ's traditional profile off a True Temper shaft. It is an S300 at different weight options.
Yeah.
A 75, 85, 95, 105 and 115.
Yeah.
I think the beauty of graphite is you can make it as stiff as an S300, but whatever weight you want it to be. You can make 75 and tip it enough that you can make it the same flex.
Yeah, that's it. With steel, it's much more difficult to isolate flex and weight. If something's heavier, invariably it's going to be stiffer.
Yeah.
With graphite, you have that. You can do that. You have that capability. So someone needs to play something quite stiff, but can't swing an S300 because it's 130 grams. That TZ's brilliant.
See, loads of that LPGA tour especially, that they've got the speed So it's not necessarily used to, if you broke it down, you'd said if you swung at 8mm or an 85, you have to be a stiff or you have to be X. It's how strong are you. If you can't swing the heavier shaft, there's no point in giving you the heavier shaft even though you're quick enough for it. So it's, well, the beauty of something like a TZ iron shaft is you can make it really stable for the golfer that isn't as strong, or it can be somebody that's strong that prefers the feeling of lighter weight, or you can play about with it.
Yeah, we do a lot of that TZ product.
Yeah. What we got next? Let's go Nippon.
Nippon's brilliant. You've got NS Neo, NS Pro, kind of higher launching options. You've 85 and a 95.
Neo's definitely the higher of them, isn't it? I love Neo as a shaft. There's somebody that lacks a little bit of speed or needs a little bit more pop and helped up in the sky, especially coupled with some of these stronger lofted heads, it really helps encourage that higher ball flight.
And if someone doesn't want to go into a graphite for kind of just they've never gotten on with them, or for whatever reason they don't want to go into graphite, that Neo's kind of simulates what graphite's going to do.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that. And then the actual traditional Nippon NS Pro, we used to do loads and loads of that. We'd probably do more graphite now than we do of that, but at a weight, it really works and it does really well. Again, stiff and regular. And then you're into Modus from there.
Modus is good. Different weight classifications. What we've got on the wall there, we've got 105s.
105s, 120s and 130s.
Yep.
I really like 130 as a range.
Yes.
Like it works really, really well. And I think people are put off by the numbers. So a Modus 130 stiff's 124 grams, it's not as heavy.
Yeah.
A 120 stiff's 114. A 115 stiff's 119 and a half. So I think people don't get put off by the 130 aspect or whatnot. The Modus 130 is quite unique and it helps the ball up in the sky for something at a heavier weight.
Yeah.
So it's the same weight as your Dynamic Gold S300, but it's letting the ball go up the way as opposed to come down the way.
I've done a lot of that 130 in regular.
Yeah. I think that'll probably lead you into like a misconception there, that I think a lot of golfers think, oh, I need lightweight shafts.
Yeah.
See, if your tempo's really, really aggressive, there comes a point when you start snatching at that golf club, if there's nothing there to snatch at, you're getting yourself in a whole world of pain.
You just don't know where the club is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that 130 is just, it's good. Modus do it slightly differently because, like I said to you there, if something's heavy, it tends to be stiffer. But the Modus, where it's soft, it's just helping the ball that way, that 130.
So again, great range, which takes you on to like your next brand that's almost very, very different from that in KBS, that with a KBS 2 or a KBS C taper, KBS wherever we're at, KBS light, the heavier the weight, the stiffer the shaft. And it's very, very different from Nippon, and they can play different flexes, or Accra's very similar, you can play the same flex at a different weight. With KBS, very much, if you're 110 grams, you're a regular, 120 you're a stiff, you're 130 you're an X. KBS Tour V's slightly different, there's 10 grams lighter throughout. And then you've got the Tour Light at the bottom, 95, 100 and 105. Again, what do you think of that as a range?
KBS is good as well. There's something in each brand for everyone. If someone has a preference, or you'll be able to get close in any brand. And it's just little kind of nuances that's going to change you from like a Modus 130 to something in the KBS range.
I feel like that.
Wheel-based things.
Aye, see with heads, it's very much there might not be a head and a calorie or a head and a Titleist for every golfer. But it feels like you could have a massive range of KBS and probably get close, or a massive True Temper range and you wouldn't be a million miles away.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really just fine tuning when you start going through the little bits in there.
It's a timing mechanism, isn't it? It's a timing device. What's going to allow you to hit the middle of the face frequently? And it's...
KBS is kind of like True Temper with a range that they start off with max graphite, high launching, soft, get the ball up in the sky, PGI and TGI, more stable up into the heavier weights. PGI you get up as high as 100 grams. So you can really put that weight in there, but then you can have a 100 gram steel shaft that will play and feel very, very different.
Yeah, very different.
It'll be a lot softer, a little bit more reactive. It just depends what every golfer's looking for, how you load it, how you swing it, transition. As I say, without trying it, you're never really going to know. Oban.
Oban's an interesting one.
Oban is interesting in that they don't have, with every other brand, a 5-iron shaft's a 5-iron shaft. With Oban, for golfers that don't understand, the way it works is they have different shaft lengths, and they'll have multiple different flexes, so you could be an R minus, an R, an R plus, an S minus, a stiff, and what you're effectively doing is picking the correct shaft length. So it's almost like a tipping system like you would use in a graphite shaft, to really dial in how stiff you want that shaft to be for every golfer. And there isn't, until you've tried it again, varying different weights, 100, 115 and 125. They're really stable as you go up
Heavier,
the weights.
Yeah. Great in wedges. The fact that, so we've got them tipped differently in our wedge matrix.
Yeah.
So if someone's playing the Oban 125 or the 115 X-Flex in the irons, you can try the stiff plus, you can try the stiff minus, just to give you different feels and see what different
feel
stuff
in relation
does.
to it?
Yeah, it's like you said, you don't know until you actually hit it and see what the ball does.
And what's their graphite offering? How does it work?
You've got that's weights sorted as well, so you can, I don't know if you can tip them, that's more of a builder question, but what they do is the lighter ones are really high launch and they just want to get the ball airborne.
Yeah.
But it's a nice stable product that when you hit it,
yeah,
it doesn't feel whippy.
Yeah.
And it's quite cool to look at. But
it's a nice colour.
It's a nice colour. But they go 43 all the way up to 108.
And they're 3s to start with, is that right?
Yes. Yeah. The only one with the 8 is the heavy one.
Right.
That's
Okay.
a 108. So 93, 83.
And again, when you're up at 108 grams in graphite,
Yep.
the thickness of those walls is really severe.
Yeah.
You know all about it. It's really stable.
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. I like that. The one that seems to be popular just now, Fujikura Axiom.
Yes. Again, that's kind of taken from more aggressive players and trying to give them a graphite offering.
Yeah.
We've done a few. We've done a good few actually. But the Axiom's brilliant. I had a guy in, would have been last summer, but he gets quite bad pain in his hands and his arms. A young guy as well. Plenty strong. He was swinging a 6-iron. He would have been about 98 miles an hour.
Okay.
So shifting some lumber
Yeah,
there. We went into Axiom 125, and as soon as he caught it a little bit thin, that vibration just didn't even reach his hands.
Then you get lots of that, especially with graphite. You see, initially it would have been older people,
Yep.
arthritis and whatnot, that graphite takes the vibrations out of it, but it's not necessarily always the older golfer that suffers with that. And
Yes.
you can, just because you're old, or if you're old and you've got arthritis and you needed graphite, you used to have to play something so soft that if you're a good golfer and still hit it hard, then you had to either suffer the pain or you had to get something really soft. But graphite feels like it's went full circle now, and you can have the stability that graphite offers and also have the health benefits that come with it.
Yeah, I mean, that aggressive player is going to be, if they're playing graphite with us, that you're looking at the Axiom range, and then bringing Accra back into that, that 105 and that 115. Just such a stable product, and it's not a traditional high launching shaft. So if you play graphite, you need to get the ball in the air. It's a low launching shaft. Arguably, that Axiom is probably the stiffest.
And the final of your graphite options. In fact, we'll miss that out. We've got a couple of Autoflex graphite options in there as well.
Yep.
Talk me through Autoflex before we go on to the next one.
Good fun. Speaking of timing devices, you have to time it.
Yeah.
But the idea is that it's going to kick more there, give you a little bit more juice. And if you're going to pick one off because it looks cool, it's going to be that one.
It looks the part, doesn't it?
It's quite often one you'll kind of chuck in a demo, maybe at the end of a fitting, just to have a little bit of fun. See how hard you can, see how much club head speed you can gain.
Get what going with it.
Yeah, it's good with the driver as well.
LA Golf.
LA Golf, A series we have, and L series.
And L series, A's and L's. What do you think?
Good. Really good if you're going longer, because they're quite counterbalanced.
Okay.
And you were talking about thick walls earlier. The butt thickness of that LA Golf shaft is...
The L series one.
L series one, yeah, sorry, is it's thick.
Yeah.
So if someone's playing an inch, 3/4 of an inch long, really good to keep swing weight sensible.
It feels really heavy when you get to that, doesn't it? Yeah. It suits that you need to be giving it a welly.
You need to be giving it a welly. L series is, they put exactly what the shaft is designed to do on it. It'll say mid, it'll say low, it'll say high.
Yeah.
The L series, it's a hitter shaft, you would call it. It's definitely a hitter shaft.
So an L series at those heavier weights, is there much difference between playing that versus playing a steel shaft at similar weight? What would be the benefit in playing graphite? It's obviously more expensive.
You pay more for it in terms of longevity and practice.
Yeah.
There's going to be less wear and tear on your body hitting graphite shafts.
Okay.
I think there's been research done into that, and again, no vibrations going up, or less vibrations, I should say.
Yeah.
Colorway, they look cool.
Looks really cool.
The LA Golf is very distinctive.
Yeah.
It's got that big LA Golf logo down the side.
What do you play?
I've got Project X.
Have you?
Yeah, 6.5, just a classic rifle.
Traditional.
Yeah. I don't want it to be over 125 grams, obviously heavy, but I just find X100s, KBS 130s, C-Taper 130s kind of
A wee bit too heavy.
wee bit too heavy. Still plenty stable in there.
Yeah.
It's still a low launching shaft, isn't it? So
Yeah. Really good.
what have you got?
Just now I've got a set of Nippon 115s. I really like it. I had one 105s years ago, and they just felt too light, and I didn't like the feeling of 120s. And then we brought this 115 out. We didn't actually have it in demo. I had a blind date with it, and I actually really quite like it. I'm quite enjoying it. It gives you that smooth feeling that a Nippon would give you,
Yeah.
but it allows it to flight it properly for you. I like it. I'm really enjoying it.
Good.
Aye, it could see a few months.
I was going to say, is it going to make the end of summer?
Yeah, well, it's got half a chance. Aye, so far so good. Right, Aaron, that's a wrap on all the different shafts we have.
Yeah.
I think if you're a golfer watching this and you're thinking of changing golf clubs, I think it's get fitted.
Yep.
We've got the largest range of shafts in the UK, not just in 6-iron. We've got 4, 6, 8 and pitching wedge as well.
Yeah.
That really allows you the opportunity to try everything, weights and flexes, and work out what's right for you.
The amount of different combinations is kind of unfathomable.
You get to some funny numbers.
Yeah.
And I think it's if you like the feeling of a really lightweight soft shaft, then you might need to play a stronger lofted head to counteract it if you hit it high. So it's not to say that you can't play that shaft that you love, but you'd have to couple it with a head.
The matchup has to be right.
Correct, and it's the same that if you want to play something that's really traditionally lofted and you hit it high already, you're going to need to play a hit shaft that's going to flatten it. And it's not to say that there's one right or wrong answer, but there'll be a combination that will work right for you.
Definitely.
But the only way you're finding that combination is to come and get fitted and give it a go.
Hit some stuff.
Aye, totally. Come and give it a go, have a hit, see what you like, and we can go from there. And that's us, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to book in for a fitting, visit the website at sggt.co.uk. And if you want to see more YouTube videos, if you like and subscribe the page, it'd be great to see you again. Thanks.